Are you ready for lightning to strike? Choo, choo, choo. Woo!
First of all, I want to ask for a big hand for Samina for decorating our beautiful compost
Look
bin.
at this. The one compost bin to rule them all.
Powered by NumFOCUS. And all of your lightning talks. So
Yes.
Here we go.
So
Pretty
much
cool.
good gardening nutrients here for us. Oh, what's going to happen?
We're going to pull 2 cards out here.
Okay, I'll
They're
do
going to
one.
come up on deck.
I'll do one. So first on deck is Follow the White Bunny by Valerio Maggio. Follow the White Bunny. Who is this? Oh, great. Come sit here. Okay, so just for reminders, if people weren't able to make it yesterday, lightning talks are 5 minutes. You can talk about anything. We want you to, make it fun and exciting. When we say you're on deck, you're going to come sit up here, and you're going to be sort of in line, so that way we have you up here so you're not walking up here when you're doing your talk. So we're going to have 2 people on deck. Second person is?
We want chaos, but not that much chaos. Okay, one more first-timer, John Mattis, the Free MoCap Project. Free markerless motion capture for everyone. Please come up on deck. Get ready with your slides. Are you here?
Are you here?
John.
Oh, yes. Okay, great.
Thank you, John.
So we have both people on deck. Okay, so now we've added some chaos here. Some lightning has struck. Juanita, our wonderful model here, is going to be rolling a dice. If you are not a first-timer, if you're a first-timer, everything's fine. You have 4 minutes. Your talk is going to be smooth. You're not going to be harassed. Okay? If you are a veteran, let's say, we know you can handle it. So some people were complaining to me that they didn't have enough time. So we're going to do some D&D rules here. If you roll a 6, you get 5 minutes, not 4 minutes. Okay? But if you roll a 1, or if Juanita rolls a 1 for you, I'm going to impose something on you that you have to do during your talk. Okay? So, we'll see what that is.
would you say you're chaotic neutral or chaotic good or chaotic evil? Definitely chaos.
Are you saying I'm definitely evil?
Okay.
I don't think it's evil. No, there's a law to it. It's lawful good.
It's lawful good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm seeing lots of no's here. Okay. Well, anyway, so our first speaker today is Sarah Kaiser. Sarah's been waiting here while we've been riffing. Sarah, are you a first-timer? For doing lightning talks. Okay, so Sarah does not... Oh, we're going to wait. Okay. So what was your answer?
Yes, it is my first time, but heckling is entirely encouraged.
Oh, okay. Well, I will keep that in mind for heckling, but we're not going to impose the dice on you.
Oh.
But I'll maybe do some other heckling
Okay.
thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay, especially if you get close to time.
I'm going to go looking for trouble.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 1 could change. Like if you get a 1, the rules are going to change for you. You don't know what the rules are. I know the rules. Okay, go for it,
Timer?
Sarah.
Okay, cool. I've decided to revise the name of this talk to It Doesn't Work on My Machine. So I would love to poll folks here. Raise your hand if you've ever been working with someone, onboarding, tutorials, whatever, and you've had someone with a machine that just was cursed and you could not get the environment set up on. Yes, okay, so this is a universal experience. I would like to perhaps introduce you today to the concept of development containers. So this is an open spec developed by originally the VS Code folks, but now it's a collaboration with JetBrains and a bunch of other CI tooling to basically describe not just the Docker container or kind of where your code evaluates, but the whole experience, the whole ambiance, if you will. So what it literally is basically a directory with, a directory that looks like this. This is the repo for my tutorial, or our tutorial on Monday, which I did want to have a shout out. We had a yearbook where people made commits from these dev containers. So if you want some cool VS Code tips and tricks, you can check that out. But yeah, so it just basically looks like this, kind of standard config directory sort of thing. We have a Docker file that I assume a lot of projects also kind of have, but the real kind of main addition is a JSON file like this that, in this case, it's a fairly simple one. It just says, look at this Docker file, and then sets up a few things about, in this case, VS Code, because that was what the tutorial was about. So we can specify things like what interpreter we want folks to use, and all sorts of extensions, basically anything that you can make as a setting in VS Code or whatever other tools it supports. You can describe that. So when a contributor, like as a last resort, if it doesn't work on their machine, it doesn't work like on their server, whatever, you have this option. This works locally if you have Docker installed, but it also works directly from GitHub. So if you have your repo there, now I have shaky hand problems. Yeah, so if you go here and you want to go, you can do your standard clone from here, but you can also go here to code spaces, which will use the same dev container configuration. So it's kind of a nice 2-for-1 thing. You can use it for local setup and development, but you also basically get this cloud supported kind of VM in your browser for free. And if you click here, I'm going to show you, you can make it with options, so you can choose how big the machine you want behind it. You can even have multiple dev containers. But yeah, if you want to also, as we all know, sometimes building Docker can take a long time. So one other thing you can do, at least on the code spaces side, is you can pre-cache. So you can basically turn this into usually a 30-second or less, depending on how fast download speeds are at the time, sort of experience for your contributors and colleagues. I spun one up here locally. I was working with Dan on tiled stuff, so I'm demoing this right now. I just PR'd this, but I've got the configuration here, and it's already spun up. I'm going to make a terminal and just do, tiled serve, and it'll also auto-forward all ports and stuff through. So check them out. Ask me if you have any questions, and hopefully you will never have that problem again.
I cannot contain my excitement.
Okay, so Valerio, I want you to say on the microphone, are you a first-time Lightning talker?
I'd say, I'd love to say so, but no.
No, okay, so Juanita, touch it. Put some energy in the dice. Yes, good, excellent. Okay, let's see, what are you gonna roll? Oh, beautiful roll. Oh, a 5. You get 4 minutes, and you are...
So no 5 then?
No, well,
okay.
fight. What?
Nice. No, 5.
Oh, 5. Yes, a 5 is fine.
No, I would never fight.
No, only 6 minutes. Rolling a 6 gives you 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't it depend on his armor class?
Oh, yes. Sorry, my charisma's -1, so I can't influence you.
Could I please have Roberto Pastor on deck? Installing Python on Windows for beginners is no longer a pain.
What?
Okay.
Okay, that sounds chaotic evil.
Now we need a pun from you, Mike.
Okay, Valerio, are you ready?
I'm shocked. It doesn't work.
Let's see.
I'm afraid. Yay.
Oh, it's going.
Is it?
Got it, yep.
Going. Brilliant. Fabulous. Nice. All right. Very quickly, this talk contains live demos, so what could possibly go wrong? Why not? Lightning talks. Who knows about PyScript? Wonderful. Okay, so I'm done. PyScript is actually Python in the browser, and all you need is indeed a browser. You can integrate, for those of you not knowing, you can integrate that into your HTML file, and you can start writing Python. It's like a custom element. PyScript is a custom element. You can write Python code. And it runs actually genuine standard Python. It's like Python 3.11.2 running inside the browser. It's not just like that. You can also import packages like NumPy, SciPy, whatever, and you can run code like that. And this is what you have. Of course, it's not working because it's live demo, but it's NumPy 1.4 and the latest versions of the Python packages. Isn't that really a miracle? No, actually, the reason why that works is because the current architecture of the project is based on PyScript on top of PyLite, on top of WASM, and WebAssembly is what enables Python in the browser. PyScript has been announced PyCon 2021 by Peter on the keynote. And in slightly more than 1 year, lots has changed, really. Most from the inside rather than the outside. PyScript is now faster, so you definitely check that out. It has more robust components. Also, I'm showing off Bender's memes, because I love it. PyScript is lighter. Lots of components have been removed from the core, so it goes much better. And now supports multiple interpreters. You can have PyODI, but you also can run MicroPython in the browser. And actually, a few weeks ago, PyScript Next has been announced as the next PyScript. Indeed, the core has been re-implemented, so it's being re-implemented. So lots of fascinating things are there. It's on tech preview, so please check tech preview/pyscript.core, which is the new thing. And the mission of PyScript is the only thing that hasn't changed, which is bring programming to the 99%. I believe this meme says kill all the humans, but that's ChatGPT, is not PyScript, I promise you. And how to get started? I like to propose using pyscript.com. It's a totally free to use project. You have to go there, you sign up, you use it, you have a dashboard and everything ready to get started with. Public shout out to the team, pyscript.com. These are the amazing people behind it. I'm not in the picture because I'm not one of the amazing people, but just talking about it. And things you can do in PyScript. Well, one of the thing PyScript provides as a custom element is the PyREPL. So you can do something like import anti-gravity. And then, this is how it works, but extra things you can do in PyScript is .fly. And this is PyScript. Yeah, this is nerdy enough. The interesting things you can do is like, and I'm showing you pyscript.com how it works, is you have a dashboard and the ID, this is pyscript.com, and you can develop data application, but not just data application. Just showing you, in this case, I'm actually running on an X PyTorch model in the browser, so you can visualize this application here. So please, internet work, please work. Right, okay. So, like for example, I'm like typing any digit, and my model says is 3 works. Well, if I change the color, actually, I'm sure it's not going to work anymore. But like 4. That still works. Brilliant. So the interesting part of this is this is a JavaScript application calling via Python and on an X PyTorch browser, PyTorch model in the browser. And I think, well, the other application, if you want to know, I generated this Anaconda notebook badge. So in case you have a GitHub link to your notebooks, you can type there. But they're chasing me up, so I think I'm done. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Next speaker on deck. Time really flew, didn't it? All right. Next up on deck, one about Zulip.
Oh, this is Wands. He's going to tell us how much better Zulip is than Slack. So he better be here.
Oh, he's right there. All right.
Oh, there we go. Zulip with a Z. Okay. Juan likes to say Zed, like a Southern Hemisphere person. Okay, are you a first time? Oh, you are a first time. Okay. No, don't apologize.
No, it's okay.
Great job.
No, you want to throw the thing.
Look at this crowd ready to hear you.
I'm mostly apologizing because I know how fun it is to throw a huge die. So.
It's okay.
Okay, you get 4 minutes.
Thank you. Am I showing? Great. Hello, everybody. My name is John, and I'm here to tell you about the free motion capture project, where we make a free open source markerless motion capture for everyone. That is Skelly. He's here to help. And yeah, so I'm going to try to do a live demo, which anyone who, I guess y'all know that you should never, ever do a live demo. But we're here, we might as well. Free mocap is aimed at making research-grade markerless motion capture data for free. I'm a neuroscience professor that studies human movement. I have a $250,000 motion capture system in my lab that I hate. And this is based on a bunch of Python code, and it runs with $20 webcams, or there is also a single camera mode that runs on a laptop that we're going to try to get running here. So it's something that we've been working on for quite some time. Usually there's like a multiple camera setup. It's designed to work with the cheapest possible webcam, so that tends to be about a $20 system. So we're going to get this started here. Try not to walk off the edge. Usually when I'm doing that in a demo, I have multiple cameras and there's like a nice center of mass trajectory, but with this one, I'm not even in the screen, so I don't know how that's going to work. While that is running, so you can see it's sort of running here in the background, show you a little bit about this is the GitHub repository. This is a lot of work for me. I'm not a software developer. I'm a philosophy major who turned neuroscience, turned a software developer. So we do what we can. Got like 2.6 thousand stars, which is pretty good. And we have a Discord server with 1,500 people in it. This is something somebody made that I think is supposed to be me, and it creeps the hell out of me. And this is the thing that popped out. It's just got the 2D version of it, because it's just one camera. This is Blender, if you're aware of what that guy is, and I don't know how to navigate this. There we go. And so that is, yeah, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Hey.
It certainly has captured my attention.
What's that?
But will it blend?
It will blend. It's a bit of a flat Stanley right here because it's just one camera, but with multiple cameras you get 3D data. And we validated against the $250,000 system. It's like the $250,000 system is like plus or minus a millimeter. This is plus or minus a centimeter. So for 5 orders of magnitude in cost difference, it's up to you to decide how much that precision matters to you. Any questions?
You can go under. You're just helping other people.
I don't know. What else do I got to say? I mean, this is. So a lot of the research that I do is trying to get neuroscience to think about behavior in the natural world and thinking about movement as like a full body behavior instead of like single plane joint arm movements in a room. A lot of that is about our ways that the research that we do is defined by the tools that we use. So making easy to access tools that get high quality data in natural unconstrained environments will move the entire field forward. So tool making is research. Thank you all for being here. That's all I have to say.
That was quite the moving presentation.
It was a giant leap.
One small leap for SciPy. One small leap for you, one giant leap for SciPy. Look, there's only so much one human can leap.
We have next on deck Arliss Collins, the NumFOCUS Academic Consortium. Please get yourself ready.
Let's see. There we go. Okay, so Roberto,
Yeah, that's me.
are you a first time?
I am. So.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Let's welcome him. Enjoy your 4 minutes without
Thanks.
harassment.
So, hi everybody. My name's Roberto. You can see. Whoa, great. Black screen. Perfect. Oh, okay. Nice. So, you said you weren't going to play with me, right?
No,
anyway,
you're safe. You're
so
safe.
yeah, my name's Roberto. I'm part of the PyAnswers team. We have a booth out there, and we wanted to present to you all a tool that we developed some time ago. It's a PyQt app, basically, that makes it easy for first-time users of Python to install Python on their machines and even create virtual environments and everything. We've got some installation instructions in our docs, and how to use it. So I'll do a live demo now, just as my partner before. So yeah, well, let's go. Let's hope it works. So this machine, it's basically a Windows VM I spawned on my computer. It's got no Python, basically, nor Py, nor anything at all. I download the installer from my releases. It's on GitHub. So yep. And I'm just going to install it from scratch. Let's wait. Boom, here we go. Okay, so first step. We can install Python. We've got different options, either vanilla Python or Conda using Miniforge. I'll go with Python, and then I'll install 3.11, because why not? Let's stick to the latest one, stable. This is installing behind the scenes. It's downloading the Python installer, and it will just configure it for us. That way, users don't have to go through the web and check which Python version they want or how to install it. Yeah, it'll take some seconds. But basically, the next steps, it will allow us to check which Python version we want to use for creating our virtual environment. And finally, we will be able to install different packages and even install other IDEs like Spider. You can even spawn a Jupyter Notebook lab session. I mean, come on, install. This is the internet connection and my machine, which is not that powerful. Okay, here we go. So yeah, as I said, here, if we had more Python versions, we could select them basically, and I can put in my name here. So I'm just going to call it my env. We're storing all virtual environments under the same location, especially for pip, so that we can keep track of them. And yeah, let's wait. Boom. Okay, it's been created. And now here we can either launch a console, launch Jupyter Lab. I will try to launch Spider. We'll try to install it. See, it didn't recognize it, so it's now installing it for us inside our virtual environment. No, it's not a general install. And, well, apart from that, well, this installs. We also provide easy access to some Python default packages. We're installing NumPys, scikit-learn, pandas, and different other libraries from here. You can do easily a pip freeze here as well to check if your user has all your dependencies installed or what problem he's having. And of course, we also enabled down here the option to install different PyAnsys packages with older versions. This is pinging PyPI basically to check which ones are available. And yeah, this should open up Spider as soon as it finishes. Some silence.
The curse of the live demo.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I did really want to show that it worked. Okay, yeah, we can leave it here, but Spider will pop up, I promise.
Well, I mean, you still have 20 seconds while
Yeah.
I weirdly come up here.
I
so.
trust my app. Let's see if the app trusts me.
Am I going to get trapped in the web? Spider?
Probably. Ask their developers. Nah, no, it'll take long, no worries. But,
Wow, you really left us hanging.
sorry.
Oh,
Will I run out of time or not?
you're out of time.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Juan, can you tell us, are you a first-time Lightning talker?
Can I lie?
No.
Then I am not a first time.
Okay, so Juanita wants you to, imbue some energy. Yes.
I'm the one.
Yeah,
Very good.
on the one specifically,
Yeah, I get
obviously. We want to see what happens,
Yeah.
right? Well, you can do it. Oh! It's a 1!
All right.
How much
Give me
time
the-
does he get?
Oh, all right. Here we go. Do we go?
Okay, so Juan, I have this this crustacean hand thing,
Yeah.
and you have to give your talk while holding it up, and it also talks while you're talking.
Okay.
Okay, you still get 4 minutes though. So
I'm so glad that you're so generous. With me.
am I not merciful?
All right. Before we start, can I please have Gayendra Deshpande on deck, obfuscating Python code?
Okay, Juan,
Okay, so the thing is, everybody here uses Slack, and I don't understand why, because Zulip is a much better open source alternative. Okay, so what is the problem with Slack is that if you go to a place like SciPy, where there's just lots of engagement, it all gets jumbled together, and you have two choices. One, you have to go into a thread to figure out what the hell anyone's saying, or you have to spam the whole channel. And all of the conversations get mixed up together, right? So it's really hard to come back and follow a conversation. Zulip, on the other hand, is open source, and it has this really nice threading model. So if you go to the general, and also it can be publicly viewable, which is nice for open source, open development. So this is the Nepari Zulip chat. I'm not even logged in. And you can click on the general channel, and you can see all of the conversation happening. You can see there is still sort of multiple conversations going on at a time, but you can just click on one of the threads and only look at that thread. So that's kind of nice. The other thing is if you go to the SciPy thing, you see that you're on a free trial. Slack now keeps your, throws your messages out that are 90 days or older. So if you have a small community, it's really annoying. You can't have long conversations over time. So that is not a problem with Zulip because they're open source and they have free plans for open source software, which is super cool. And even if you are not an open source community, you can, because it's open source, you can install your own server. The instructions are super easy. I've done it before. It's very nice. And again, because it's open source, this is Kyle Harrington. He's at CZI. He's written a Nepari plugin that will post a current screenshot to Zulip with a message. So yeah, writing stuff for open source software is also easier. And that's all I have to say. Sorry? Oh, and you can mark threads as done. Also cool. Anyone else have any other Zulip tips that they want to share right now?
Do you want to repeat that? Because I couldn't hear it.
Oh, that threads can be marked.
No.
Threads can be marked as done.
Looks like you're in hot water.
Which is like this one. But no thread is ever done. We know this. Yeah, so use Zulip. Thanks.
Next up on deck, Chuck, how government regulation can affect open source software.
So Arliss, is this your first lightning talk?
It sure is.
But it's not your first SciPy, so I think we should still have you roll, right?
No, oh, come on.
No.
It's my second SciPy in person.
Oh, okay, then we
and
should give Arliss 4 minutes, right? Huh? Mercy. Okay,
Oh,
we're getting
mercy.
mercy. Calls for mercy, okay. Arliss,
Oh, there we go.
you have been saved by the audience.
Thank you. Oh my
But you
gosh.
should rub some energy in this for the next person. Yeah.
There's no
All right.
mercy.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, Arliss, take it away.
Great. So my name is Arliss, and I am the developer advocate at NumFOCUS. And you've already heard, second time at SciPy, first lightning talk. But today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of new initiatives that we're ramping up at NumFOCUS. The first one is the NumFOCUS Academic Consortium, and the second is the Open Source Pledge. The consortium started with a conversation that began with Kyle Cranmer, who's currently the director of Data Science Institute at UW-Madison, with NumFOCUS and the Academic Data Science Alliance. And the proposal was put together to facilitate academia's engagement with the open source scientific community and fostering a virtuous cycle that yields better software and new opportunities for discovery, innovation, and collaboration. I'm a good reader. This is probably meant for organizations and institutions that are much like government labs that are unable to make cash donations. So the idea is to have these institutions, as part of the consortium, provide opportunities to engage in open source that are non-financial, more like participation in events and things like that. So, yeah. This happens to me on all of my talks. All right, so it's going to be a membership. Like, we're working on a membership in the consortium. As I said, it focuses on academic institutions and nonprofit organizations. The idea is for it to be a membership model, so having an annual dues and things like that, but we haven't, it's still a work in progress. The membership will be a signal of support for NumFOCUS's projects, visions, and mission, and the members will be invited to contribute to community efforts through participation in events, working with our sponsored projects, and other initiatives. So these are the benefits that members will have. Social media opportunities for marketing through NumFOCUS. From their side, they will be able to put a badge for recognizing that they are part of the academic consortium, invitation to NumFOCUS, and participation in the community. So in addition to the consortium, we were working on that, but as we were having those discussions, we came up with an idea to start an open source pledge. And the idea around this pledge, which would this pledge would sort of be a pathway to membership in the consortium. And the open source pledge is something that we're just looking at right now. It definitely is in draft. And you can see if you go to the link there for the pledge, yeah, you can see what we're talking about it there. But nobody knew when we started the discussions who was going to draft it or what it was going to say. So the ADSA convened a committee early in April to start working on what the pledge would be. These are the members. So we have a number of organizations in the United States, and we are working to build this pledge. The registry is what we're having here. Currently, we have these two folks, these two institutions who are signed up for the pledge and have put their names in the registry. And to wrap it up, as I said, these are new initiatives, and we've gotten to the point where we would love to hear from the community. So if you're interested about the academic consortium, please come see us at our NumFOCUS booth, or you can email me with your, sorry. And if you're interested in the open source pledge, this is the link there to go, and we would love to have feedback, as again, we are just starting this off, and we'd love to hear from the community. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Alice.
I think Gwen was getting crabby there.
I'm going to use the crab hand now to fish out the next talk. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. Oh, I got it. All right. Okay. I know Madikan really wants me to not pick first-timers because then she can harass them with the die.
I want you to pick first-timers. I just want it to be equal distribution,
but
you know?
now I am picking a first-timer.
Oh, first-timer. Okay.
Astronomical data access with Python. Brigitta.
Oh, okay. You want to do the first one tomorrow? Okay, that sounds good.
We will put you on. Now you make me use this thing again. Oh, gosh. Okay, I have it. Oh, thank you. That's easier. Okay, next attempted. Okay, this one says Thursday. That's good. Coiled Beyond Desk. James Bourbeau.
Oh, okay. James, you're right in the front. Ready to go.
Yeah, first timer.
Okay, so is this your first?
First lightning talk at SciPy.
What? No. Gwen told me it was not your first lightning talk.
Yeah.
Gwen?
Hello? Yes?
You told me this was not his first lightning talk.
Yeah. Not
Would you
first.
like the die?
No, we won't
That's
subject
not
you to that. We won't subject you to that.
You will get 4 minutes.
Yeah, you get 4 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. So my name is Gajendra Deshpande. I'm giving a lightning talk on obfuscating Python code. So we'll see what it is, why we should do it, and when we should do it, and how to do it. So I have a question. Why did the programmer start a band? So it's because they wanted to write a music that no one could understand. It was their way of obfuscating the notes. So what is obfuscation? It is the action of making something obscure, confusing, unclear, and unintelligible code. So why we should obfuscate the code? It is the action where we deliberately complicate the code so that no one can understand it. One of the goals can be to protect the intellectual property of the source code, just like encryption, but not exactly encryption. Now let's go through the C mystery code. So I was a professor for 15 years. So whenever I used to teach programming, I used to give this example. This is a mystery code. I never understood it, but I gave the example to my students. Even my students also didn't understand it. So I used to announce bounties, but no one could get it. So this was the output. So this is the beauty of obfuscation code. Even though you don't understand the code, you can understand the output. And you can get the readable output. So I asked ChatGPT to explain the code. So it gave me the response that in summary, the code you provided is an intentionally convoluted and unreadable piece of code, making it challenging to understand its purpose and behavior without significant analysis. So this is another code. This is Python code. It's a very simple program which you might have written, Python print hello world, right? So it is the obfuscated version of hello world. So again, bounty is there. Then again, I asked ChatGPT to display the output. So it gave the response. So it says that if you are interested in understanding the output or purpose of the code, I recommend de-obfuscating it or seeking further assistance from a Python expert who can help analyze the code in more detail. So again, I asked a question to ChatGPT. Okay, I'm going to SciPy Conference. Can I find an expert there? So it says that the SciPy Conference USA typically attracts a wide range of professionals and experts in the field of scientific computing, including Python developers and enthusiasts. While I cannot guarantee the presence of Python expert who specializes in deciphering the obfuscated code at the conference, attending the event increases your chances of finding individuals who can assist you. That's why I'm here. So there are some tools, like you can make use of PyArmor, which is a command line tool, which can help you to obfuscate the Python scripts. So there are some advantages of using PyArmor. For example, it can provide you the seamless replacement. Your code will run and you can get the output, but the only thing is you will not understand the source code. So it can provide balanced obfuscation. Then irreversible obfuscation is also possible. Then it can also provide C function conversion. Then script binding is also possible. So this is how you can install it and run the commands. So you can also use online code. So we are running a Birds of Feather session tomorrow. So to discuss the future of Python programming language in the AI era, please join it. So I have last one joke. Why did the programmer become expert in obfuscation? So that is because they wanted to join the code of silence. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
With PyArmor, I feel like I should be asking Bard, though.
You can ask ChatGPT.
Okay, come set up your computer. Yeah.
All right.
Very generous,
Next
thank
on
you.
deck, Will Barnes, applying diataxis to lots of dogs. A case study in 4 minutes. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
No, give me number
Oh,
6.
he's right here. Okay.
Yeah,
Is this your first?
No, she's ready. Look.
At. Oh, we have our wonderful dice model, Juanita. Look, and with such intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do
That's
you
why
want to
I-
imbue energy? You
No,
know?
I don't want to touch the 1. I want to
Okay.
touch the 6.
The 6?
Yes, give me the
Okay.
6.
Touch the 6. Okay, here we go.
No.
Okay, what's gonna happen?
6.
4 minutes, but as a
Oh,
crab hand.
that's definitely a targeted attack. Okay, so I see that those arrow keys that you use are
Yeah.
really small.
Yeah.
I want you to use
This one.
this instead of your hand
Okay.
to change
Yeah.
slides.
Okay.
So you're not talking into the
fun.
mic,
Okay,
but you just
okay,
have to
okay.
like use it on your keyboard. This is a very, look at how pointy it is.
This is actually nice.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So it's a useful tool.
It's better than the one at home. I have the one that is like very round, so that one won't work.
Oh yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But this will work.
This will work.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. Okay. So you're just
Hello.
perfect. Okay, enjoy your full
Yes.
4 minutes.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. And so, trust me, you want to grab these slides, take a picture of these slides, and this is the most important slides of the slide deck because I won't be able to tell you everything within 4 minutes, so you need to read it yourself at the end. So, have you heard of the Securing Open Source Software Act? Oh, only some of you. Okay. So. You're going to read it at home. I'm not going to read it for you, but last year, actually, this is by the US government, which is kind of a law to try to ensure all the open source software are secure. And also, you can read the blog post. So that's the US government. Have you heard of the European Union Cyber Resilience Act? Oh, maybe even less. Okay. But do you know GDPR? Yes, of course. Of course, you know GDPR. So what the point is, there's no geographical boundaries. Like, we are all affected by GDPR, even though GDPR is a European thing, technically. And the government regulations will affect us, so we have to be worried about a lot of things. Who maintains an open source software? Can you stand up, please? Or put your hands up, it's fine. Keep your hands up. Okay, keep it. Who has contributed to an open source software? Okay, more hands, great. Who is using OSS at work almost every day? All of you, great, okay. So the European, EU Cyber Resilience Act, actually, I'm not going to read it for you because they are like, I don't know, a few hundred pages. So it's like putting that logo, we have all seen that logo if you buy something from Europe, on your software, just to make it safe. So it aims to protect the user. So how does the government make it protect the user? It's like to make the publisher of the software be responsible if there's a security issues. So it's a good thing, right? We all love it. But we are talking about open source here. We all, are involved in open source. So this is a picture that I stole from Amanda's slide yesterday. She gave an amazing talk. So this is all these open source software, right? The purple one and the blue ones, they have some money. Some company are supporting them. That's great. But look at that tiny little gray box there. That's probably by one developer, and it's like that person doesn't have much money. So, yeah, we may not be able to demonstrate that we are actually compliant, or it's actually very, very expensive to do so. So how can open source maintainers be able to do that? So if you really read into the act, actually there's a link at the end, so that's why I grabbed the slide deck. We have some carve out for the non-commercial activities, but we don't like the term commercial because it's very difficult to define what is commercial. A lot of, including the Python Software Foundation, we would accept donations, right? You can actually donate to the PSF today. So can we do that now? Because, is it commercial? Also, can you contribute to open source when you are at work, right? Would that be affected because, you are doing commercial work at work, right? So, or company, if you're working for a startup, now, is it, if you open source a software, is it going to be a problem for you? So we don't know. What should we do? We are not like this, or just like, everything will be fine. Well, I think since we are all involved in open source, we should get more information and voice our concern. I know not all of us here are Europeans, but you can still pay attention to what's going on. If you're European, there's actually the votings happening next week, so you should contact your parliament member representative now. Otherwise, you can just read all these things and grab the slides deck and read all of those. Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. You made the crab mouth reappear. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, next up, please join us on deck. Thomas Fan, Pandas out with scikit-learn's set output API.
I don't want to make any of you shellfish with this crab claw.
Okay,
So is it your first time?
It is actually.
Oh, wonderful. Let's give him a round of applause. Woo! First timer. Great. Okay, let's see. We're waiting for the AV to kick in.
Oh no.
Looking at the pun table.
Oh.
Ed, do you have anything? Any puns?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I have a good pun from Slack here. Madikan, are you trying to butter up the crowd with the claw jokes? From Juan.
You know, I have a meme after this. I'm a butter girl. It's perfect. Easy breezy butter girl.
Trying a different port. We'll see.
Pick
me,
me,
the claw, pick me.
The claw wants to give
Sure.
a lightning talk.
The claw.
How's
we're
everyone
gonna
doing?
see. If this doesn't work, then we're gonna
Yeah.
ask you to like.
I'll get the boot. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Snake.
There we go. Cool.
Professor Snake.
I think it's
Dr.
queso. I actually think the mascot is queso. Queso crab. Or crab the queso the crab. Yeah. Okay, here you go. Take it away. 4
Grab the
minutes.
queso sounds good, actually. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm James. I work on Dask at Coiled. At Coiled, we focus on deploying Dask clusters in the cloud as a service, but I'm not actually going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about the weird things that we've seen people do with their clusters and some of the engineering that we've sort of wrapped around that weird stuff. So I'm on my laptop here. I've got some files. One weird thing we saw people do was launch 0-worker Dask clusters and run Jupyter on the scheduler, which is a thing one might do, but is weird. Oh, make it bigger. Okay, sure. Big enough? Cool. So you can do coiled notebook start sync, and it's going to, you know what? I'm going to do, in honor of the last talk, EU West 1. Yeah, so that's going to launch a notebook in maybe London, maybe it's EU West 2, but in Europe. And it's we're going to have some bidirectional syncing with my files. So we're going to be able to run on a big machine, a machine with a GPU, run on not my laptop, and get the results synced back. I'm going to move on. Just know that a Jupyter Lab thing is going to interrupt me in a little bit, and that's this. I couldn't figure out a smooth way to fit that in. So another weird thing we saw was people would spin up like 1-worker Dask clusters and submit a small function that takes like a couple seconds, pull down the results, and then do things with that result. That's like not the Dask is meant for doing large things, not tiny things. It was sort of like they were kind of looking for like a beefier AWS Lambda thing. So what we built was this. Is this big enough for people? Ooh, no, is that big enough for people?
Enhance.
Cool. So this is the script on my laptop. I'm going to read in some data that I have locally. I'm going to process it. I'm going to print out the results. But here I've told Coiled to actually run that function, not on my laptop, but on a machine with the CPU and memory specified there in US East 1. So that's actually going to run this function on the cloud and send the result back to my laptop. I'm cheating here. I secretly made sure that machine was already up ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and run that and make the font a little bit bigger, hopefully so people can see it. If I didn't do that, that would have taken about a minute or two to get the result back. But yeah, there's the result. We have our friends Alice and Bob we're all familiar with. I can do something a little more real world too. I, over here, have some PyTorch code that one can copy and paste from the PyTorch docs that is presumably meaningful and returns some results at the end. I know enough about this code to know that it needs a GPU. I don't have a GPU on my laptop, though. I'm up here on a Mac. It is not yet the year of the Linux laptop. I'm telling Coiled to, since I don't have a GPU, to just give me a GPU and run this on an instance in US West 2. There are lots of GPUs in US West 2. So I'm saying, please, pretty please, run that for me, Coiled, on that machine. Again, I'm cheating. This machine is already warm. I booted it when I was sitting over there. But it would take about a minute, and you would get your result at the end. And there are our results. So, yeah. How much time do I have? I'm taking out much. 30 seconds. Oh, okay.
You have now 20 seconds probably.
Okay.
15 seconds.
15. So you can also coiled run echo hi
10
mom.
seconds.
And I'm actually going to do that on a big, no, I'll just, that's
Five.
fine. That's going to run hi mom on some machine somewhere on AWS. There's my Jupyter thing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James. First timer? I'm gonna pick a first timer.
Great first lightning talk, James. Wonderful.
All right, Ricky Osteen, scientific visualization of juvenile, oh my gosh, Selachimorpha. Selachimorpha? Okay, good. Okay.
So, Will, is it your first?
It is my first SciPy lightning talk, but not my first.
Okay, well, then you're definitely getting
So,
the dice.
yeah. You can mess with me. It's okay.
We're deploying the dice.
Perfect.
Okay, Juanita. Perfect. Are you going to find Jupiter too?
Maybe.
Maybe. The 1 or the 6?
I'll do the 1.
Yes. Excellent. That's a brave. What's going to happen? 2!
Oh.
Grab is sad.
She's been trying to do it as a diagonal. She's been trying to rotate it on its diagonal axis, okay? Next time I'll just make all of them 1s, okay? Then it'll be extra fair.
How much time does he get?
He has 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yep.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, everything's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
No crab claws.
All right.
No crab claws.
And go.
No crab claws.
Great.
It's fine.
Perfect. All right. So my name is Will Barnes. I'm a research scientist at American University and NASA Goddard, but more importantly, I'm one of the developers of the SciPy project. So SciPy is a package for doing solar physics, solar data analysis. It does lots of things, but the kind of primary functions are downloading data, pulling data into some data structure, data container mostly for viewing images, and then doing things like coordinate transformations to manipulate those images. So SciPy is a pretty mature project. It's been around about 10 years. It depends heavily on AstroPy. We're a NumFOCUS sponsored project, and we have sort of a larger kind of ecosystem as well. So because the SciPy has been around for a while, we have accumulated, wow, this is really small. Sorry. We've accumulated a lot of documentation, like a lot of fairly mature projects. So over the course of 10 years, we realized that we had accumulated a lot of documentation that had kind of rotted a bit. And what we had done for kind of the past 5 years or so, we had been directing most of our users and most of our documentation development efforts on Sphinx Gallery. And Sphinx Gallery is great, but by focusing only on the kind of the gallery portion of our docs, the rest of them sort of fell by the wayside. And we found this was not good. That there was a lot of documentation, but it was hard for users and even for us to find the stuff that we were looking for a lot of the time. So in rethinking our docs, we came across this thing that probably a lot of people in this room are familiar with, or at least some of you. It's called the diataxis framework. And I'm not going to really talk a whole lot about this because it's a very complicated topic. And there are probably people here who know a lot more about this than me. But the basic idea is that you separate your documentation along these boundaries that depend on the needs of your users at that time. So if for example, someone is coming into your project and they're just looking to learn how to use your project, they would use a tutorial, and it should be only tutorial material in that section of your docs, and it should be kind of obvious how to get to that section of the docs. So there's a web page at the bottom of here that kind of gives a lot more detail about this framework. I would definitely encourage you to go look at it to kind of digest it. So what we did in our most recent release a couple of weeks ago of SciPy was that we applied this diataxis framework to our documentation. And so now when people land on our documentation page, they're greeted with this display, that lays out these different sections of this diataxis framework. So if they're looking for a tutorial, if they're new to the project, they know where to go and they can click there. If they're looking to do a really specific task, they'll go to a how-to guide. If they're looking for more explanation of the kind of underlying concepts of something, they would go to our topic guides and so on. So as a result of this effort, our docs are a lot more organized. It's more obvious to users where they should start as when they land on our documentation page. The result of kind of going through this process, this took us about 6 months or so to do this whole refactor, so that we spent a lot of time arguing about what a tutorial is and what a how-to guide is, which probably makes no sense if you haven't read this diataxis, but if you have, I imagine you've also had these arguments. This framework is really, really nuanced. It's really opinionated, but I think it's really useful and really powerful. And if you're going to go use it, I would encourage you to read the whole thing from top to bottom. And most importantly, if other projects have done this, I would really be interested in talking to seeing what your experience was for applying it. So thanks very much.
I should have said, "Here comes the SciPy" when you came up on stage. Yeah, you have to say in the mic. So Thomas, is this your first time?
No.
No? Oh, well, you have to.
I wish, if I could have 2, is it 1 minute? Okay.
Well, you're going to find out. I change the rules every time.
All
so,
right.
yeah. I mean, now that you've said it, though, it's an idea. So.
I love 1 minute.
Oh. Look at that diagonal axis, okay?
3 minutes? Is that 3 minutes?
I think that has to be re-rolled. That's a re-roll.
That's a 5.
It's not a 5. It's on the corner. It's on the corner.
Re-roll. 5's not good enough.
Okay.
Re-roll.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, okay?
Re-roll.
Re-roll is up. Yeah.
5 is too high. It's
yes,
not
okay.
Work.
You
5.
You have been gifted a 5.
I guess we should, okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, I still might put a crab hand up here just to decorate, you know? I heard that we like decorators in here, right?
We love decorators. And Words operators, right? Words operators, anyone? Woo! I'm not even connecting to this thing properly.
Oh, your slides were up.
Oh, they were up?
Yep.
Whoops.
Oh, no.
3 minutes.
No, you have 4 minutes.
You have 4 minutes.
Okay.
But I can, do you want me to take away a minute?
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, we can see your slides.
We see your slides. Go.
All right,
Do
cool.
it.
Go.
Who uses scikit-learn here? Who uses pandas here? So this is the feature I wanted since I joined scikit-learn. Pandas output. I'm going to talk about it. This is the pull request. Fun. All right. Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Light Notebook. See the little light here? It's Jupyter Light. Thank you, Pyodite folks. All right, so this is version 1.2. This is a data frame. It has very important information. Agent height. Look, data frame. If in the past, if I call fit transform on this, whoops. It breaks. It crashes my computer. That's what happens. It gives you a NumPy array. Let's make this huge. If I 12-step output equal this thing, this magic thing here, this thing right here. Just do that. It's a data frame. Woo! That's why isn't it amazing? Well, if you put it in a pipeline, look, a pipeline, also a data frame with names that make sense. Look at these names. They're not great, but they're better than NumPy arrays. So.
Wow.
Nothing against NumPy. NumPy is great. Oh, NumP. I don't know.
No.
Here, Titanic data set. I'm doing some processing. I use pipelines and column transformers. Normally it's NumPy arrays, but set output. Remember this thing right here, right here, very important. Guess what happens? Right here. It's a Panda data frame. Woo! All right. No, crashed again.
Is that better than a NumPy array?
It's because pandas are black and white, so you gotta have some.
Good one. So if I put this in, this is a predictive model, logistic regression at the end. So I'll put pandas data frame. The thing is, you could slice the data, the pipeline, you get the last classifier. It has the names that came into the classifier. It knows about the features coming in, which means you can make plots really easily by looking at the last classifier, and then it works. These are the coefficients. These are their names. Yeah, woo! It's amazing. Now, Jupyter Lite. Thank you for all the work. This is run by Jupyter Lite with PyIodine. You can run on your browser with this URL. That's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Thomas. So our last lightning talk for today, Ricky, please come up.
Yeah, Ricky. I'm glad you didn't get bambooed for that. So, Ricky, is this your first lightning talk?
It is, but you can heckle me.
Okay. Oh, okay. I will definitely heckle you. Well, the claw is just looming next to you. How's that?
Wonderful.
It'll be here on this.
Love it.
Look, it's.
I'm from
looking at
Maryland. I love crabs. This is.
Oh,
it feels like
see,
home.
I
This is
planned
fine.
it. You know, we had a long talk about the Maryland flag yesterday, about how it's cursed.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
perfect.
every Marylander says it's perfect.
Yep,
yeah,
it's great.
But like,
no notes.
It's well. So then, like, would you insert Maryland flags inside the Maryland flag, like a Maryland flag?
Flagception.
Flag fractal. Yeah.
It's too powerful. Can't do it.
Too powerful. Okay, we'll heckle you. Enjoy. Let's
Great.
give him a round of
Thank
applause
you.
for his first lightning talk. Woo!
All right.
Okay, Ricky, take it away.
All right. So I'm glad the obfuscation talk was before mine because this title is complete obfuscation. My colleague was badgering me to give a lightning talk, so I thought I would get revenge by talking about their obsession. I will also talk about some astronomy here for just a moment. But first, I work on JDAVIS at the Space Telescope Science Institute. All of these people have contributed to it. It's great. Thank you, all of them. So astronomy to talk about beforehand, before I get to the revenge. James Webb, we just released the first anniversary image. It's beautiful. You can go to webbtelescope.org and download the high-res version. It's 12K by 12K, so you can zoom in and it's beautiful and you can go all around and see cool things. One of the fun things about JDAVIS, which I work on, is that it's Jupyter-based, so you can embed it in the web. So if you go to the MAST archive hosted by the Institute, you can search for the FITS files that went into making this very pretty image, and you can get them. And right in the web, you can open, I'm going to pretend that I clicked, but this one's already loaded, so you can open JDAVIS right in the browser from MAST. You can see metadata, and you can see the images that went into this and do things like zoom around. You can get to all of the analysis tools in JDAVIS right from the web. I downloaded all of the frames that went into this beforehand. That's the wrong window. Oh my gosh, still the wrong window. Just to show this is a bit more powerful in the notebook because you get access to the API. So here I'm loading all 5 of the frames that went into the public release image. And I'm going to link them by WCS, World Coordinate System, because they're actually different pixel sizes, and now they'll all be nice and lined up. And if I set all of the layers to different colors, you can see I get a nice color image. I am not a public outreach professional or an artist, so this doesn't look as nice as the public release version. But you could go in and play with the stretch and all of those things. You could also, for example, make another viewer and load just one of these layers. And because they are linked by WCS, if I zoom in one, the other one follows it, and I can make regions of interest and do things like aperture photometry right in the GUI here. This also links into AstroPy models on the back end. The other thing related to Python from JWST is the whole pipeline is coded in Python, obviously very dependent on the AstroPy ecosystem. So how does this all relate to my title? Well, I don't know how to pronounce this word either because I looked it up on Wikipedia like an hour ago. It means sharks because my colleague who badgered me to give this talk is obsessed with putting baby shark into JDAVIS. So anytime we do any new feature, they say, that's great, but can it play baby shark? And the answer is yes, JDAVIS can play baby shark. So what is a GIF if not a data cube? So my colleague made sure we can load GIFs into CubeViz, and you can do things like slice around in the cube. Look, I actually say GIF, and I didn't want to get yelled at, but there's no winning. I'll get yelled at by someone.
It's GIF.
So just recently, we have this slice plugin where you can animate this by slicing through your data cube. Of course, it's not actually doing that right now. Great. Maybe that's because I also have it popped out. Here we go. I also have it popped out of the notebook, so it's bigger to see. There we go, there he goes. And just recently, some scientists were requesting us to be able to save videos of our slices of their cubes out into a movie for some reason. I don't know why. But so now you can click this, specify your frame rate, and export it to an MP4. And so in just a minute, we'll have gone through this weird loop of downloading a GIF of Baby Shark, putting it into CubeViz for some reason, who knows why, and then we can put it back out into an MP4. And this is some cursed. The first frame is awful and cursed, I'm so sorry. And I apologize to any parents who are traumatized by this talk. So that's it, thank you.
Thank you all for wonderful lightning talks today. That was quite the shark attack at the end. Yeah.